Well, welcome to our Stencils and Such second webisode. We have two new ones. You can see the Dragonfly, which is our, kind of a focal point, and then we have the abstract leaves, our background. So we've got two very different looks, and in fact, this is one of the looks that I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring you some new products too, and some new techniques. So please come play with us. Now, there are a couple of things about stencils. When you are applying something to them, like our stencil butters or things like that, you do want to very quickly put them into a pan of water, because you don't want those materials to dry on the stencils. So just want to have you know that. I do have a pail of water, or a pan of water over here, so I'm going to be following my own advice. And you can use a lot of different things with stencils, and I think that's one of the most exciting things going on. You will find it useful to have a craft mat. So I'm going to bring mine in because I'll be using it as I show you some of the techniques. And I'll leave my Dragonfly out so I can show you this first one that Lene did. And as you can see, this is on our, 5 by 6.5 inch card. That's our blank card. And I'm going to place it here. Excuse me. And we use the low tack tape. This is, kind of a washi tape, but it's going to allow us, beg your pardon, to attach things without them ever having a problem and, the tape peeling the paper off. That is not going to happen. And you use it for two things. One, if you've got a paper to go down, but the other is for your stencil. Now, you can turn the stencil as you want, and you don't necessarily have to have every bit of it onto your card. That's perfectly fine. So I am going to not worry about that because Lene didn't worry about it. And I'm just positioning this down. Now, in this case, we are going to use ink pads, and then we are going to cover it with something new. This is the Distress Texture Paste, and it's going to provide this. We're going to get in super, super close. Super, super, super. Okay, do you see all that glitter? How neato is that? Well, that texture paste is a transparent medium that has all of this shimmer and shine in it. So we're going to ink it first, and then we're going to apply this. Now, I'm not going to do the whole thing because you don't need me to do the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a little bit. So we're going to start with the Prussian blue, and there it is. This is the Hunky Dory ink pads, and we're going to use a finger dauber because that's what Lene likes to use. And we're going to do the head and the body. Now, let me just show you something when I start doing this. There's the head, but I'm going to go outside the head because I'm going to make a little halo around it. Okay, we're going to do that along the body too. I'm not going to do too much in the middle, but when we get down to the tail where there's no wings, we do want to have that halo extending. And why? Because that's going to allow the edge of the stencil to show. If we didn't do that and just ended it, it would look odd. Okay, so let me just lift that a little bit. Okay, see what I mean? If we didn't have that, it would just end with those little lines, and it would be it'd be harder to control, quite frankly. So with the dauber, that's going to work nicely. Now, I'm going to use the same dauber, and I'm going to go up at the top. I'm going to do a little bit up there. There you go. And this is a lot of mixing of colors. So the Prussian blue is certainly one. I'm going to go inside this jewel that's kind of hanging. But again, I want to have a bit of a halo because I want to be able to see it. Make sense? Yes, I hope so. Okay, now I'm also going to do a little bit of the wingtips while I've got my blue on my finger. Same idea. Now I'm going to duplicate exactly these steps, and I'm really just following what Lene has done. So I'm going to go a little bit up here. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for right now. Now that's the Prussian blue. Then we also have orchid and violet. Now they're both obviously shades of purple, and we're going to use them also onto the card. And I'm just dabbing off my dabber, cute, and I'm going to go into the orchid next. And the orchid and the violet are going to be similar, so you can, again, you can mix them. But they're beautiful colors to mix. And I'm going to do one of those. And I'm eventually going to cover the whole piece. Now, you can mirror what Lene has done exactly, or you can just do as you wish. Okay, is that fair? Looks like I should have put some blue there, but that's okay. I'll come back and do some more. But don't forget to go up and do your top and let them cross over each other, because that way you're going to get just more variety in colors. And you do want to have the whole thing covered in various shades. Okay, so that was the orchid, and I'm going to wipe that off. I have a cloth over here where you can't see it. And I'm going to go into the violet. Now, yes, you could have used a blending brush. This is the violet, so it's a deeper purple. And a little bit of it there. And that's going to work nicely. Now, I don't know that you want to have too many more colors. I think that's working pretty nicely. So you're just going to keep doing it all over. When you are satisfied with it, then we're going to lift this off. Now, obviously, it's not done. No, we're not. We're not going to take it off yet. We're going to use that texture paste. Now, the texture paste is let me open it up. Come on, texture paste. Okay. Now, we're going to use the palette knife. Okay, so it looks creamy, doesn't it? Well, all you need is about a tablespoon of it. So I'm going to use my palette knife to scoop out, about a tablespoon. You can always go back, so don't worry about it. And I'm going to just place, I'm going to place it right here. Now that's not really a tablespoon, but you can always add. And I'm just going to smear it. Then put my lid back on, rest it right there. This is a stencil buddy. It comes in a package of 2, and it's useful for doing exactly this, for spreading things around a stencil, because you get a wide surface and it just does a really nice job. Now you can see, like I said, I probably had 1/3 of a tablespoon, but all you're going to do is this. It's just spread it all over. Okay, now I'm going, whoops, okay. You do want to make sure that your ink is dry. Obviously mine isn't, but don't worry about it, not for this demonstration purpose. Then I'm going to lift that. Isn't that pretty? I know it didn't look pretty there for a while, but that's okay. And I'm going to toss that puppy into the water now. And did you notice that I put my tape inside the card? That way I didn't have an edge. Okay, now if we'll get in super close, as this dries, you can kind of see that mica, that powder in there. But it's going to turn like this. Wow. Now, while it is still wet, Lene added some crystals. In fact, let me get this out of the way. She added these crystals, and these are the grape ones. So she just let it sit right into the texture paste. So that was fine. Then after it was dry, she went into, because it does have the orchid and the violet, she went into our purple collection of Dazzles. This has 12 sheets. It's got words, it's got greetings, it has borders, it has all kinds of things. And you can see that she put 2 thin line Dazzles, top and bottom, and Missing You right there. And she did it in that strong purple so that it would really show up, and works really nicely. Okay, so that's our very first card. I'll be right back with card number 2. Here is our second card, and isn't that gorgeous? Debbie made this. I love it. This is a 6x6 card, but do you see the decal edge? Let's see. I hope you see the decal edge. Let me see. Now, do you see the, there you go. Now you can see the decal edge. There you go. And it comes from Hunky Dory, and it comes in a set of 30 pieces, and there are 3 different sizes of cards. So there's 6x6, there's an A6 and an A5. So this is, and we don't have a ton of these, so I just want you to know that. You could do this same process on a 6x6 card or even a smaller card, but let me just show you what Debbie did. Now, obviously, she has used our abstract leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? And both of these stencils come from the Crafters Workshop, who also makes the Stencil Brothers, which we are absolutely loving. And what Debbie did is, the first thing on her white card is that she did the edges with a blender brush and the orchid ink pad. Now, you saw the orchid ink pad a minute ago, and you're just, when I have a narrow edge like this, I like to use the smaller of the blender brushes. There are 3 in the set, and just tap it and then just go like this, just a little bit. You don't go clear into the card, but just right on the edge all the way around. Okay, so that takes care of step 1. Now, step 2, I'm going to go into the Botanical Library solid cardstock, and the reason is because of the colors there. And let me just show you what they are. In fact, these are samples that Debbie did, bless her heart. And let's see, they're the 3 colors. So there is a light pink, a more medium pink, and then a purple. You look beautiful together. And what she did is she cut each of those colors into 6x6, 6x6 square. Now, you don't obviously need a full 6x6 square, but that allowed her that when after she did the process I'm about to tell you, she could cut them apart and kind of match them back to create that full image to match the stencil. Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully it made sense. If not, I'll just say it again. Okay, so you're going to do this process on each of the 3 6x6 pieces. So, okay, pretend that this is a 6x6. This is kind of hard for me to do on a white. That wasn't good, Paulette. But on a color, you're going to place your stencil. You're going to tape it down with a low-tack tape. Then, this is the magic. This is opalescent stardust butter. And that is, in fact, let's get in really super close. I think you can really see it from where you are, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You have, well, stardust, I think, is a really appropriate name for it. So it's going to go into the stencil areas, and it does lift up. It has a texture, but more importantly, it has that shimmer and shine, almost holographic over here, but teeny tiny bits of flecks. And I really do like, I think the 3 areas, the 3 colors is just positively brilliant. So you can use your palette knife to, oh, here we go, to scoop some out. Now, Debbie used her palette knife to also just spread it. So that's all she did on each of the sheets. So you just want to make sure that it is covering all of the space. And then quickly, quickly go to your next color. Do the same thing, then quickly go to the next color. Now, remember what I said about putting it in water between, if you are doing this in the summertime and it's hot, or if you're feeling like it's setting up quickly, go ahead and take your stencil after you've done your first color, put it in water, you know, kind of rub it, and then dry it off, put it onto your next color. Same thing, put it in water, dry it off, and put it in your last color, and then drop it back into the water because that's important. You don't want that to dry. Then she laid them, well, these are going to be 1.25 inches each of them. Now, again, if your card is narrower, they're going to be narrower. So you just want them in 3 same size. So she attached them. Now, she found that using extra sticky tape just really made it stay nice and flat. So I'm going to pass that on to you. The 1/4 inch extra sticky tape, just put it top and bottom of your sheet and put it down. Leave a tiny bit of room between them, and then you can place the dazzles. Now, this is the straight line colorful dazzles, and you can see that she used purple, and she just put them right along the edge and in between the panels. Very nice. Now, to get her greeting, she didn't want to put it in the middle. She really wanted this beautiful stardust to show, which I think is a brilliant idea. And Debbie did say, by the way, you will have pieces left over, but you know, this is gorgeous. Use them on other cards and you will be pleased, okay? So she did take, this is also out of the Dazzles, and this comes from the set that is called Script Greetings in Pearl. And again, it has multiple colors. She used the silver, put it on the darkest color of cardstock, matted it on the next color, and then foam taped it right down there. Now the ribbon, she wanted the ribbon, so she's got these 2 colors, then the ribbon is matching the 3rd color, and that's the light pink ribbon set. Just works beautifully. So that is the front of her card. Now you could easily do take another piece and put it on the inside and have another greeting. That would be lovely. So just lots of opportunities. Okay, so we've seen 2 different things. Now, and this is nice because it's just the one product. It's just that Stardust Butter Opalescent is what it's called. Okay, now I have something that you can touch and pet and feel, and that's this card. I'll be right back. Now in this case, as you can see, Lene has combined the 2 stencils, so we're going to take these one at a time, but I do want to tell you there's something special going on with that dragonfly. So she took a 6x6 card, and first of all, she took the teal ink pad and a blender brush and went around the edge. You can see that right here, and just made it teal. Then she took a piece of white cardstock and tacked it down with the low tack tape, and then placed the stencil on top. Now, one thing you'll notice, this stencil has an edge. So that's kind of nice because you can hide the low tack tape underneath that stencil when you're attaching it to your craft mat, and also use that edge for when you place the top stencil on top. So you've got 2 layers, okay? Now, in this case, we're going to use the blending brush, the round brush. This is what Lene likes using this, so it's your choice. Many people use the regular blending brush. She happens to like the round tool, so we're certainly going to do that. And she also went around, so you've done the edge of the card. Now she's going to go around the edge of the stencil with teal. So you're going to just ink it up and just go right around the edge like so. Just making sure that you've got that teal edge, and just like so. I mean, that's one wonderful thing about stencils, is that you kind of can't blow it. So we're just going to do that, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. But then you're going to take khaki, that's our 2nd color, and use that in the center area. So now I'm going to let these blend. So, and you can see why the khaki would work so well on leaves, can't you? Now, if you had 2 tools, you could do these alternately. But that's what you're going to do. And then you may want to come back to the teal and bring some in. In fact, I will guarantee you that's what Lene did. So you can see that that blending is happening. Pretty, huh? Okay, now make sure I get my lids on correctly. Oh dear. And if you aren't sure, test it. Okay, this is khaki. Teal is right there. Okay, let's be sure to do that. Now, this is going to end up being, this is going to get glued to your card base, and that's what Lene has done here. Now, what's interesting, or just an interesting piece, is that when I think about this, I tend to think of it like this, with the leaves coming down. It truly doesn't make any difference. Lene has them going up from the corner. So I thought that was interesting, just a little note. Now, let's talk about this dragonfly. This dragonfly, do you see its softer colors? Now, it's using the exact same ink pads, but can you tell that it's looking softer? Okay, the reason that it's looking softer is that she stenciled on white suede paper. How neat is that? Just the suede. I didn't know you could do that, but we're here to test things for you. Now, in this case, she has done a second one for me where she did the ink a little bit stronger. Now, just like the very first card when we used the dragonfly, you do want to make a halo as you are placing this on your, as you are inking it, because otherwise it's not going to show up. So you want to make that halo as you're going through the whole piece. And then when you cut it out, you're going to cut along that halo. Make sense? And notice how she has it at an angle in the card. Now, this is a 6x6 card. And she has elected to let it overlap a little bit. It's foam taped on top, but I didn't know that you could stencil on suede, and I think it's brilliant. And you can pet it also. That's fun. And it just gives another dimension. So that's really fun, especially when you're using the inks. It's just really, really nice. Now, in finishing up her card, she did add the citron jewels, so you can see right there. And then for her greeting, she used our Sending Smiles Dazzles. Now, this comes in a package with several colors, and the Sending Smiles are in different size fonts. So the one that she used is the larger, and it goes down to a smaller one. So that gives you lots of ways to say hello to someone. Really neat. And I never thought of combining the two stencils, so I thought that was interesting. Okay, I have one more for you. I'll be right back. Now, Debbie is giving you a twofer on this card. There are two techniques that are going on, and I think you can probably tell. Well, obviously, that is foiling, but also this is stencil butter. So it's going to be in two stages. So you will take, now she has used craft cardstock, which is a tan color. I just have white cardstock right here, and I'm not going to go through the whole process, but I just want to kind of show you. Now, you can either do the stencil butter first and then do the tacky one dry gel and the foiling, or you can reverse it. But in either case, when you have the stencil, if you are going to use the, this is the Seafoam stencil butter, isn't that pretty? You can just place it here and up here. So it's kind of in that kind of netting area. And Debbie used a palette knife to just take it, well, here, let me do it. To just remove it. Oh, isn't that pretty? And it's not going to take very much. So, and it is like butter. I mean, it's just very, very soft. So I'm going to take a little and I'm going to put it right there. And I'm just going to control where it goes with my palette knife. And I want to hear the scraping. I want to hear, if you can hear it. I don't know if you could hear it, but it's a scraping sound because you want the you want to have the palette knife actually touching the stencil as it goes over the areas. Now, you don't have to worry too much because you're going to put something else over that center area. And actually, she had the stencil butter going all the way here. So you can see you just kind of walk it through, keep scraping it, and then you can add more. Okay, so just as you like, and you can take your time with it. But the main thing that you want to know is that when you are done with this stencil butter, you want to pop this little one back into water because you don't want the butter to dry on it, and you don't want to try to do the butter and then also the tacky one dry gel at the same time, because you're going to have overlapping and you're not going to be happy with it. So just doing this, you're going to do it both up here and down here, okay? So that's one step. Now, the next step, okay, you can just any excess that you have, obviously I didn't complete it because I don't need to do that, but I'm just gonna put any excess back into the jar, seal it up, and pop this into the water so that it will not dry on my stencil, because if it were to dry on my stencil, it would be difficult to get off. So then you will clean that off and then put it back on. And the tacky one dry medium, let's see, let me rub this off so that you can see. You do need for it to dry, and it is milky when I open it, as you can see. Again, it's like a butter. I mean, it's still very, very smooth and very, very soft. And you will spread that over the center part, but then you have to let it dry. And depending on how thick you put it, it will determine how long it takes to dry. So, as I said, when your stencil has been cleaned off, you put it back on, you tape it in place, you apply the tacky when dry, and then remove your stencil, put it in water. Have I said that 500 times enough? Okay. And let it dry. Then, let me show you what we're going to use because it's really pretty. And this is a foiling from Penny Black. And I chose it because it has so many colors in it. And I thought that was really, really nice. So here is the package. This is called Blooming Foil, and you can see all these colors. How pretty is that? So from pinks to purples to gold to lime. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And the colors that Debbie has chosen are these. So it's just these three, the lime green, the purple, and then the teal. And when the tacky, when dry, is clear, only when it's clear is it dry, then you're going to take smaller pieces of these foils, and don't worry about areas like this because you can use every bit of this. So simply, she used the purple on the dots, so simply lay it down, press. When you lift it, the foil will stay. And when you're doing the green and the teal, I would use a smaller piece so that you can place it and place it, place it, place it, then go back with the teal, place it, place it, place it, and it will be pulling that foil off. There's no laminator, no anything else that you have to buy. But I think the seafoam and this foiling and those pops of purple are just really, really fun. Now, she wasn't done there. She did mat this, and she used the stained glass solid cardstock, and you can see the colors she used, the green and the purple. So she's duplicating the colors that she has here on the foils and the butter, and matted it twice, about 1/8 of an inch of border, and then glued it to the front of a card. Now, the other thing she did is that this is out of the stained glass 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. She matted it on green and just lets it go right across. And then for her greeting, this comes out of the stained glass die cuts. So she also matted it on purple. And then look, we'll have to get in close. So she has put some of the tacky one dry around the edge and did some purple foiling. How fun is that? Now, and then, like she wasn't done, then she used the stained glass cutting dies, and you can see the dragonfly and butterflies and hummingbird. She elected the dragonfly, cut it out of the solids, and then also did the tacky one dry along the edges, so just brushed it and then let it dry, and then did the purple foiling on top of that. So we can back up and you can see the whole creation. So 2 techniques. Now, Debbie gave me something else. Oh, I do want to tell you, now you may have noticed, if you have a really sharp eye, this foiling is actually glued onto the card. Okay, I'm telling a secret, but Debbie said I could. When she did the first color of the stencil butter, she didn't like how it mixed with the foiling, so she did it a second time, and then she cut the foiling out from a second sheet and glued it on top. Now, with that in mind, remember the second card we had? Look at that. She has taken the stencil and done the tacky one dry and used the gold foil. And then she also used that, this is the Sparkle, the opalescent stardust butter. What a pretty combination on that purple cardstock. How neat. So you can play with blending the butters and the foils to your heart's content. Very, very fun. So lots of ideas, lots of techniques, all done with, let me get them out here, with 2 stencils, which are now in water. So I can't even show, oh, here, let me get it out. Okay, it's going to be wet, but you get the idea. With our abstract leaves and our dragonfly. So many things you can do with stencils, which is why we are so excited to have these webisodes. So every month we're going to do a brand new one. And if you would like, we also have a subscription. Yes, we do. Now, stencils come in all price points. You may have known that. But our fee for the Stencils and Such subscription is the same. It will always be $15. But if you are a subscriber, you will get something free every month. Subscribers this month, well, you got a sheet of white suede paper. Yes, so you can try that out the moment your kit arrives, and that kit will arrive before this webisode, so you get a chance to check it out. And you will always get at least 2 stencils, sometimes more. And you will always get a free goodie. So if you would like to join the subscription, just over there on the right side of your screen, and that's where we have the money saver with both of these and the stencil, and the suede paper, so stencils and suede, and that is what our money saver is this time. Now, there are instructions down below. You can click on any of the cards, and you can see that from Lene and Debbie. They've done a fabulous job. And I just absolutely love the creativity, and and so much you can do with stencils. Who would have thought, right? And in fact, what our subscription says, wait till you see what you can do. That's exactly how we're feeling. Wait till you see. I can hardly wait to see what they're going to do next month. Okay, so if you're watching us on YouTube, okay, we hope you'll like it. You hope you'll subscribe. Head on over to paperwishes.com. Take advantage of the money saver. Maybe you want to sign up for the subscription. You can look at the instructions and have a chance to see just exactly how to do that. Most of all, remember to always put your stencil in water so it can get cleaned off before you do something, the next step, and that will save your stencils because you can use them forever and ever. Okay, I want to thank you for joining us. And Lene and Debbie, once again, you've just amazed me with your creativity, and I want to hope that you have enjoyed it too, because after all, you are the very best part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you next time.